Hi, Mr. Uppal. We know that you lead a successful law firm and yet you have ventured out of the country to set up businesses overseas. So, what are those ventures and why did you choose to expand?
Thank you, Divyani. The fact that I have been a lawyer, you have already mentioned that, and I love the legal profession. There's no doubt about it, and it's been good more than 1.5 or 2 decades that I have been practicing across India for not only Indian clients but international clients. So now, being a lawyer, I have had my share of experiences working for international clients and also working for Indian companies who are wanting to expand abroad and do business internationally. There have been a lot of issues that they have to face, and it is also very difficult to imagine uh, as to what exactly would be the best course in terms of choosing the country, choosing the environment, choosing the structure of the companies, how to enter, how to expand, how to undertake joint ventures, technology transfers, and whole lot of things which are related to expanding the businesses. So when I was in the midst of working for the clients, I realized that this is an area which is always going to be very difficult for people to understand, and there should be something done about it. And I choose to have this responsibility on our own shoulders. I won't say that there aren't players out here. I won't say that there are not legal professionals who are accomplished enough to be able to enable and help people expand, go beyond, migrate, do business everywhere in the world or elsewhere in the world. But then there has been a difference. The difference has been that uh, it is very difficult to firstly make a choice, and the choice is not necessarily based on the language, the affinity to a particular country, and also to the fact that whether that those countries have already been very famous in terms of the expats going there for doing business. So there have been a lot of things which I realized was not very easily available, and the right decision making process and the right components, or the reasons why one person would decide in favor of one country as against others, in fact, were always mired. So people took decisions on such considerations which should not have been the reasons at the very first place. So in this background, I thought, this is an area which is, so to say, not just difficult, but there are a lot of people who are players. There are lawyers, there are accountants, there are business consultants. Then there is bilateral treaties, agreements with the governments, and there are a whole lot of environment which impacts the decision making process, and even more importantly, the success or failure of people or the companies which expand beyond. So keeping this in mind, I thought that why do we not use the technology? Why do we not use this whole myriad possibilities and confusion to give some solutions which are not being provided by other companies so far. So in this background, having realized that what are the problems people face, what Indian companies or companies from South Asia have been facing when they were to possibly do business or grow beyond Indian borders, and what have been the difficulties, innovations, reservations, and confusion with regards to foreign nationals and companies wanting to do business in South Asia, that made me realize that, okay, this is a place for me to venture in. And that's precisely why I opened two firms. Though we have strategic tie-ups and I have had my share of initial exposure and experience in US, but the current ventures which I opened post-COVID was one in Zurich, which is in Switzerland, which is in the name of Suo Consulting, GmbH, and then there is another company which we opened in Portugal. Initially it was in Lisbon, now we have an office in Porto. We are recognized as one of the innovative companies, being startups with Upitech in Portugal. And so this is the journey. I mean, this is exactly what the companies are.
That's very interesting. So, how did you execute the plan?
Okay, now that's I would say that if I talk about it, I'm talking two interesting aspects to the idea of opening and the fact that how I executed. There is one thing which would reflect on the fact that it wasn't very easy for me. Though we have a law firm, though I'm a lawyer, internationally groomed, and having worked with lots of other law firms and individuals on an international paradigm. But what I really realized was that even if I decided to go and I wanted to expand, my decision wasn't all that easy. I had to really go through many countries, understand not just the scope, but to also understand the level of bureaucracy, the kind of scope for expats, particularly coming from non-EU nations, to be able to really enter in and make sense of their entering into a business environment as a professional. So it wasn't really easy. We thought about not only the Scandinavian countries, we thought about Germany, we thought about France, we worked with Dutch, we worked in the environment like Hungary, then Eastern European nations, Spain, and many more. And finally, we realized that, okay, when it comes to certain aspects of professionalism and certain activities which relate to helping companies and corporations take the best decisions, we need to be ourselves rubbing our shoulders with the professionals, which make a lot of decisions very early as compared to many professionals in many other countries. So Zurich made a lot of sense to us. There are very good law firms there. I won't surprise anybody if I say that Switzerland happens to be a country which has led banking and has been a leader of banking across the world. Now it's been working majorly in cryptocurrency, cross-border investments. So it's a very open country, which is where I finally realized that it was a good country for me to set up my consulting. And then the decision was with regards to opening a company, which is where I could transfer the technology, develop it, and make a product which was not only helping companies and individuals like me, but many, many more. And not just from Asia or South Asia like India, but people coming from any part of the world. So the project that we thought was driven by artificial intelligence. It was a complete IT-based portal, which we call globalization funnel, and it enables people with idea or experience or existing businesses to be able to expand and find the most suitable and appropriate places, locations and business environments or ecosystems or incubators to be able to really excel on a global platform. So this project was implanted in Porto, and now we have started working across many countries. So even in the very early stages, we had that share of experience of working as a lawyer. But now it's very interesting that we are engaging with a lot of law firms, a lot of people, professionals, accountants, consultants across various continents. And a lot that we gain in terms of experience, which I wouldn't have never come across. So that's been the journey so far.
That's amazing. So what is it that you would change about your business expansion journey if given another chance?
I think I may not really want to change a lot, because the struggles, the kind of initial phase of dwindling, uncertainty, and anxieties that I went through, I think that has made me realize personally that how any person who would be in my position and wanting to expand would have to go through. So I can really relate to entrepreneurs now. I can relate to my journey was not just as a lawyer. My intent was not to just set up a law office. My intent was to set up business. My intent was to set up startups. My idea was to be able to run through that funnel, that process myself, and go through with the highs and low tides to face everything in person. So I don't think I would really not want anything that has happened in my past to have not happened, because whatever I could experience and whatever I am wanting to bring in practice to the practical help and assistance of the clients is a result of me having gone through with the same in the past. However, I would also say that I have been very lucky. The decision to enter into Europe and not to really focus and stay focused on UK, because my experience initially has been that I have been working with Financial Times. We held FDI awards. I was personally being invited and I was speaking on a lot of investor meets in London. We worked with quite a lot of clients in New York, in California, and many parts of US. So in this background, I would say that this is where my choice of going into Europe, which is where I was not otherwise very confident, happened to be one of the best decisions that I would really want to be very happy about.
So, do you have any suggestions for startup founders and entrepreneurs?
My suggestion would be that you can always do much better if you really look at the place you would want to implant your seed. You do the mapping in terms of with your knowledge, with your expertise, with your skill, with your business acumen and experience, which countries or which locations or ecosystems could be most congenial. Because we are an outcome of the circumstances that we are in. And very interestingly and importantly, it's not just us. There would be many more people who would have sprung out of the same circumstances, having the same experience with same acumen and understanding. So we are creatures of the circumstances that we belong to. So there would be a lot of people of my age, my experience, who could be there in India. But the moment I try to go out and try to see that, in the different environment, do I find a lot of people with the same experience, same expertise? The answer would be certainly not. Because every circumstances creates certain patterns, certain outcomes, which are more predictable, which are more defined. So in case with my skills and experience, I travel and go out, I go with my unique learnings, I go with my unique understanding, I go with my unique appreciation of the circumstances. So when I try to work out with my background, experience and knowledge and know-how, I'm always in a better position to be able to serve in a different environment, which is where my actions, my experience would be used as innovations, could be used as new introduced acumen and understanding. So that's precisely why I say that, and it's not just me, in fact, that's the testimony of history that the people who have traveled have been the most successful throughout. US is an outcome of immigrants. The Europeans, when they choose to migrate outside and make colonies, go and experience the world, they became the traders, they became the innovators, they became the implementers, and they gained. Similarly, India has been a place wherein historically, China, India, there has been a Silk Route, and the people who traveled, they succeeded in acquiring new skills, in imparting new ideas, and that's where the humans exchanged technology, know-how, and that is why they flourished. So to me, it appears that the biggest decision an entrepreneur, a startup promoter, or a person who is expanding his existing businesses can do is to really go global, is to really take decision and a considered decision to venture out of their security zones or out of their own shells and try to really experience the differences in terms of learning, sharing and caring, which is a fulfilling experience and certainly a much more growth-oriented experience. So, and data backs it up. I just recorded a video last day, which is where I really reflected on the fact that how statistically the chances of a company or individual succeeding goes as high as 82% in case they were to experiment their existing know-how in different environments.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for your insights, Mr. Uppal.
Thank you, Devyani.